So Harry will definitely go to the gold lane.
And here we go, game 2 between EVOS Legends and TODAG. Well, it is EVOS Legends that had the first game in the bag, and this is pretty much match point for them. Will TODAG have a comeback, or will EVOS Legends take the win?
This is where we understand and kind of have a little bit of an insight. And you know, I really want to see the book that our man
Zay's book of cheese.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say it's exactly a book of cheese. There could be a possibility that a single page that have a marker written whereby say fight them with their own heroes kind of thing, you know, and that is going to make things meme-worthy. And of course, I would love to see them exactly do that, point it to the camera, and that would definitely go down in history. But anyways, looking at the map, and of course, we are going to go for a short little introduction as to where every single one of these players are going to be playing at. And of course, looking up in the top lane, in the EXP lane, it is going to be a Paquito fighting against a Barat. In the bottom lane, we are going to be looking at a Harif fighting against a Cho. And in the middle lane, we are going to be looking at a Benedetta as well as Yves fighting against the Kufra and that Fasa. While Momo, he spends no time. He immediately went over to the purple buff and to help Chiku bring down the buff as soon as he can. But unfortunately, because of the fact that Chiku and Momo, they split themselves up and ensuring that, well, they would want to take the buff as fast as they can. They split themselves up, and in the end, it seems like the time to bring down the buff became longer than if they were to stick together.
That actually hurts Chiku a lot, because the fact that EVOS Legends succeeded in delaying the purple buff, which Chiku desperately needs as a link. He needs the blue buff, a purple buff, in order to dash around, to deal the damage. If you notice how Rexy can actually, you know, harass from afar. Okay, the purple buff will be able to go down to Chiku, but here comes Anti-Mage as well. It's time to join the party, because Chiku is not level 4 yet, so that's what Anti-Mage will be able to look for, the stomp around in the enemy jungle.
And just from the early stages of the game, you can pretty much tell the discrepancy, or rather the difference that EVOS Legends is playing with the Diggy versus how TODAG played with the Diggy, right? And TODAG kind of bit themselves right into the rear end for what they have did just now, right? There is an understandable statement as to why they kind of split their forces up, just so that they will speed up their farming time in the purple buff as well as the bottom buff, the orange buff. But they can only succeed in doing that if they have dominance in the middle lane. So it would make a lot more sense if the Paquito actually make his way down to the bottom and ensuring that they hold down the 50 line. Because of the fact that the Yves was able to penetrate through the 50 line and enter into enemy's jungle, they are unable to just bring the buff down and thus leave it up to a longer buff take.
Yeah, something to note about Chiku's battle spell, right? He's actually using Festival of Blood rather than the Assassin Emblem that we always so love and use. But hold on a second, Anti-Mage swallows up the X-Ray.
And it doesn't seem like Anti-Mage is gonna go anywhere. Oh, never mind, he's going somewhere, and that is going home. I mean, he's not in a teleportation style, but it's more like walking back into the lane. So he's gonna be A-okay. While the rest of EVOS Legends, they did manage to get themselves a decent amount of kill, or rather a kill onto X-Ray, which is going to be pretty darn important. While Facet immediately went straight in and just tried to steal away the purple buff, but unfortunately that did not succeed. While Chiku, with a low amount of HP, he went in and he went out almost immediately. EVOS Legends will then be able to get themselves more TODAG will then be able to get themselves more kills onto the side of Fetzik as well as LJ. So a little bit of a back and forth kind of engagement from them. So all in all, when it comes to the gold, they are pretty much neck and neck.
If you talk about the feeding Diggy strat, right? This time around, EVOS Legends is the one that actually pulled out the superior feeding Diggy strat. Take a look at Fursic and Chiku. Fursic is already level 6. Chiku still level 5. Currently struggling to even secure his own purple buff.
While Clover at the bottom lane was unable to hold his own against a 3-man invade. Nothing that I would care too much about, but TODAG, this time, they're trying to put down a lot more dominance all around the map, and whatever that they want to do is they want to ensure that they have absolute efficiency when it comes to farming. And as for LJ, he's not constantly throwing himself into the arms, the welcoming arms of TODAG, whereby he just say that, take me, daddy, that kind of stuff, right? It's really just more about, well, I'm gonna be here, I'm going to be messing everyone up, I'm gonna be putting up the time journey kind of thing, and I'm going to, well, put down a decent amount of CC and bring my other teammate here just right in the nick of time. Because, like Eric said, it is not gonna be a feeding Diggy. This Diggy, yes, he's feeding out a little bit, but not to the extreme extent because he still have got value.
Yeah, and the best part is the turtle is also taken away by EVOS Legends. You see X-Ray running away with just a sliver of anti-mage trying to dominate. Chiku finally secures the purple buff. We talked about this, right? EVOS Legend in TODAK's game where the Diggy is all constantly dead and then is unable to use the ultimate at a very great success. Now, just now, that particular team fight, you saw LJ pop that ultimate just to rescue one of his teammates, and that is absolutely beautiful.
5 minutes into the game, we are looking at the goal deficit of, well, less than 500, and thus it is not that big of a deal. And we should be looking at EXP a little bit more instead, because Benedetta is currently at level 8, while Chiku is only at level 7. But fortunately, Chiku did manage to get a steal onto the purple buff. While we're just going to be scoping out to the bottom lane, it is going to be a real manipulation fight versus a feathered airstrike in the bottom lane. Momo channeling out on the Tyrant's Revenge, unfortunately, will not be able to land onto anyone. Bounces himself right out of the battlefield. Unfortunately, because of the Zaman Force, is not going anywhere.
At the same time, topside is actually, there's a bit of a fight happening between those two, and I really like the fact Kobo can actually hold on to his own, but he's actually low on the mana. Chiku in the position, the ultimate going down, the ultimate Wolf LJ will pop just as a safety measure, but you gotta admit, EVOS Legends is executing this so well, and Chiku, yes, he actually stole the purple buff away from EVOS Legends this time round, but could be a small win, but that's exactly what TODAK needs. Small win to stack up into a huge success.
Yeah, it's not exactly a blunder if you ask me. Top lane, they're still doing relatively well. As for the side of TODAK, Momo gets a kill onto the Diggy. Not that big of a deal, but Chiku though, his HP is all the way down low. Every single one of the members from the side of EVOS Legends will be able to see where Chiku is until he went for the pinch points and gets himself right on top of the wall. And that is, well, unexplored territory whereby Diggy is unable to go to. And I think because of the very fact that pinch points is possible from the side of Chiku, that's why LJ does not, well, feed that much. That could be one of the possibility.
Yeah, and the Zaman Force will be popped, wasting that away because the turtle is up. TODAK could actually seek for that turtle contest. I don't think that they're actually looking for it because EVOS Legends, they're stomping all over TODAK's own jungle, leaving Link a little bit too hard to farm. Slowly actually has to resort to these very sneaky invade against EVOS Legends.
Chiku really has been doing quite a good job when it comes to stealing opponent's buff, and even when he's doing that alone. One of the things that EVOS Legends, I think that they really wanted to have LJ just killing Chiku as much as possible, but just for 50 points, he can't exactly do that. So that is a really sad thing that I would want to say. Maybe LJ was need to start, tailing onto someone instead, but Vexic is trying to go straight in, trying to get a kill on 4 mains. Unfortunately, would not be able to, but Momo, on the other hand, goes straight down into the hands of Vexic. He immediately went out and back in, successfully gets himself a double kill and no longer a triple, because what's going to be happening in their mind is that 2 kills is enough. We are going to go for the next objective, and that is going to be a turtle, and subsequently maybe even getting themselves the mid lane turret, because the Dead Dance Welcome coming from the side, anti-mage flushes this X-ray right into the wall, followed by a pile of lava. Not exactly lava, I would say a little bit of stomach acid, while Moon is going to be pummeling down with more of the feather airstrike. Well, there's a lot of time, a lot of space being bought down by the side of anti-mage, allow 4 mains to jump right in, but, all in all, he wasn't able to capitalize on anything else at all. Vexic really doing whatever that he can to try to get as much damage as possible. The Tempest of Blades from Chiku used defensively to get himself right out of trouble and try to, be as efficient as he can when it comes to farming once again.
Yeah, and EVOS Legends is really flexing at this rate because there is no reason why EVOS Legends would want to take a fight in between the first tier turret and the second tier turret in the mid lane. It doesn't make sense, but EVOS Legends is just styling on top of TODAK this time round. And don't forget that Chiku is unable to farm up. It's really it's trying to steal some enemy camps from the enemy, and that's all he can try to do because EVOS Legends is just outmaneuvering TODAK, right? Stomping on their own jungle. Look at anti-mage right now. He's just giving so much vision down. Everyone knows that Chiku is there. He's gonna get swallowed up.
Anti-Mage, he's buying a lot of time, he's making a lot of space. Despite how many damage just going to be pummeling right on top of the side of Anti-Mage, he still survives with a nice little flicker to get himself right out of the action. In the meantime, Rexy, he is also in there with a real-world manipulation, and not dead just yet. Also, by the way, until now, because X-Ray with a knockout punch is more than enough for him to get himself a single kill, but Clover just jumps right in with the Zaman Force and just going to be sweeping out one after another. While X-Ray, he's able to get himself a double kill, and so will Clover. A little bit of a back and forth kind of action they are doing in a rather consistent manner for both TODAK as well as EVOS Legends. So I would say that the fight didn't really quite go to anyone, but one thing's for sure, EVOS Legends, after that fight, they have the control of the enemy's jungle. Enemy's jungle is now unsafe territory unless Chiku is able to steal this right up, or not really steal, but take what is rightfully his. And for me, I have no idea how he died there, but it is what it is.
It is the burst damage coming from Moon. I feel like TODAK's only way to victory, right, is to hold on as long as possible, let Chiku farm out as quick as possible. We can see how Chiku really has hidden fingers in his thumbs. I don't know how he actually plays Mobile Legends, because it's just absolutely crazy in how he can actually jump from one point to another very quickly. Let's take a look at head-to-head that's popping up on your screen right now. EVOS current jungler is actually leading in terms of that KDA, whereas TODAK probably has to try to win the bottom side. That Ling right now, that Chiku right now, is more of a split pusher as compared to an assassin.
The late game action from EVOS Legends is only starting to pile up. We are gonna be expecting more damage incoming from the side of EVOS Legends more than ever did before, especially since they do have the Lord in their hands as well. It's gonna be pushing all the way from the top, middle, and bottom lane. They will do whatever that it takes to allow them to constantly suffocate the enemy's forces as much as possible, while Chiku is doing his absolute best to navigate around, get himself a little bit of information around your jungle, and just time for farming. But no, EVOS Legends is not going to give them that at all.
Yeah, EVOS Legends, I think they really want to end this game right here, right now, because they actually took the Lord. It's not actually the enhanced Lord, mind you. It's going to be marching down the bottom side, so TODAK has to brace for impact. Chiku, not the best person to actually defend from this Lord. Moon forced to fly away. Moon, Momo, in a bit of trouble, will get taken down.
That is going to be one death onto the heads of TODAK. Things are not looking well at all. Look at the small little damage that Rexy is able to bring out onto X-Ray. A little bit of death on as well, but unfortunately, X-Ray gets himself right out of danger. The Lord goes down as well, with the core only left with 50% health. EVOS Legends will now change the strategy, or rather change the objective onto the middle lane, inhibit the turret, and only after then, once they have the Mega Crypt just marching into the middle lane and the bottom lane, will they be able to do something onto the core. But due to the fact that it is going to be a 4v4, and only until now Momo is coming up. But take a look at the core, we still have, oh, we just glitch, and no! Despite all of Fasa's effort to try to bring down the Ballista, that final shot from Ballista is enough to bring the core to a sliver of health.